Finding the equation of the line. A line says y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So this lesson is about finding the equation of the line, not necessarily given that. This y equals mx plus b right here, this form is called slope-intercept form because it gives you the slope and the intercept. So that's often how we write our answer. A very useful tool in finding the answer is this formula. It says y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. The m here is still the slope. The y and the x are variables and they stay. So if you use the distributive property and simplify, you can put it into slope-intercept form. But this method right here is the point slope form. This is the one I would recommend that you use. I often see students who use the slope intercept form and they'll solve for b and just tell me an answer b equals. But the directions say find the equation of the line, not just b. So point slope form is my favorite method for that because it will drop you into that answer every time. So there are lots of ways we find the equation of the line. Number one, let's start with we're given a slope and a point. So given a slope and a point, let's find the equation of the line. So the directions say find the equation of the line for each of these. Now, you should always read the directions because they tell you what to do. So when you look at these problems, read the directions before you start. So number one, this is a star. It's a crazy looking star. Number one, we're given a slope of 3 and through the point negative 1, 5. So let's use that point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. It's important that you write the formula every time you use it because it'll help you learn it. So before we start, let's label this. Here, our slope, we know that our slope right here means m, so m equals 3. And this is x1, y1. This means the x from the first point and the y from the first point. So we're going to say y minus y1 in this case is 5 equals m, which is 3, times x minus negative 1. Now two negatives make a positive. So y minus 5 equals, now let's distribute that. We have 3x plus 3. We're going to add 5 to both sides. So y equals 3x plus 5. This is the line that goes through the point negative 1, 5 and has a slope of 3. Let's do another one. So number 2, let's say we have a slope of 1/2. Your book is not going to say m equals, so let's take that out and put that back over here. Let's say that our slope is 1/2. And it's through the point 3, 7. So we say y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And let's label it what we have. This right here is our slope, so it's m, and this is x1, y1. Now we can plug into the formula. Y minus y1 is 7 equals m of 1/2 times x minus x1 is 3. So y minus 7 equals 1/2 x. We're going to distribute. So we're going to multiply the 1/2 times the x and the 1/2 times the 3 minus, and on the side, 3 over 1 times 1/2 is 3/2. It's a common question there. So now we're going to add 7 to both sides to solve for y. So y equals 1/2 x minus 3/2 plus 7 over 1. We need common denominators. We have negative 3/2 plus 7 over 1. Common denominator of 2. Keep the negative 3. This becomes 14. So this equals 11 over 2. So y equals 1/2 x minus 11 over 2, which is 5.5. So that makes about sense, right? So that's given a point and a slope. Numeral 2, Roman numeral 2, says we will be given 2 points. Now we've already learned slope, but let me remind you that the slope formula says y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So when we're given 2 points, the directions still say find the equation of the line. So problem number 1, let's say through 5, 3, and 4, negative 2. So in this case, we are not given a slope. But if we go back to that point slope formula, which we're going to use, we'd say y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. We have to have a slope. You have to have a slope to find the equation of the line. But we can find the slope easily. We use our slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now let's label these, x2, y2, x1, y1. So then we're going to say y2, which is negative 2, minus y1, which is 3, over x2, which is 4, minus x1, which is 5. Negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5, and 4 minus 5 is negative 1, so this gives us a positive 5. So then we can use our point slope formula, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now you can use either point you want, but we have labeled ones here, so let's go ahead and use that one. So we're going to say y minus y1 is 3 equals our slope of 5 times x minus x1, which is 5. So y minus 3 equals distribute 5x minus 25. Add 3 to both sides. Let's move this up just a hair. So y equals 5x minus 22. Some important notes, always work left to right. Always bring everything down. Good math habits make it easier. Now the question is, could you have used 4, negative 2? Yes, please don't do this problem twice, but I'm going to work it out for you twice. Okay, so y minus, now remember we're using the green point, the second point here. So y minus, and that y value is negative 2. We still call it y1 because it's the y value from the point we're using. And 2 negatives make a positive. Our m is 5 times x minus the x value there is 4. So y plus 2 equals 5x minus 20. We're going to subtract 2 from both sides. So y equals 5x minus 22. Perfect. Let's do one more. Number 2, let's go through the point 5, 1 and 2, negative, let's call it a positive 8. So we don't have a given slope, but we need one. So we're going to start with m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Make sure your y's look like y's and your x's look like x's. So this is x1, y1, and this point is x2, y2. All right, so y2 is 8 minus y1 of 1 over x2 is 2 minus x1 of 5. So we have 7 over negative 3. Now either put that negative out front or on top. We know that 7 over negative 3 is the same thing as negative 7 over 3 is the same thing as negative 7 over 3. When you keep a negative in the denominator, it tends to get lost. So don't keep your negative in the denominator. I'm going to move it out front there. It doesn't really matter. You can put it in any case. All right. So now we're going to use our point slope formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So y minus y1 is 1. This is my x1, y1. You could choose either point. Our slope is negative 7 over 3 times x minus 5. Now this is technically over 1. So y minus 1 equals negative 7/3 x plus 7 times 5 is 35, and 3 times 1 is 3. So we're going to add 1 to both sides. Common denominator, I have 35 over 3 plus 3 over 3 equals 38 over 3. So y equals negative 7/3 x plus 38 over 3. Roman numeral 3. This is parallel and perpendicular. So the problem says, find the equation of the line given a parallel or a perpendicular line. But what's important is parallel lines. Now, the geometry answer is parallel lines never intersect. And that's true. That's true because they have the same slope. So what's important here is they have the same slope. And perpendicular lines, they meet to form right angles. And that's because their slopes, the term is opposite reciprocal. A lot of students tell me, they're like, I don't know what opposite reciprocal means. What is the opposite of 3? -3. So opposite means change the sign, and reciprocal means flip. So this literally means flip and change the sign. Now you're given an equation often in standard form, but sometimes not. So the directions will say, let me get in. So find the equation of the line parallel to y equals 2x plus 8 and through the point 1, 2. So this is our point down here, -1, 2. So this is x1, y1, but we need a slope. What's important here is that we have a slope in this equation and we have parallel. So we don't need anything else from this equation. Please don't try to pick it up anywhere. The slope here is 2, and the parallel slope is the same slope, so it's also 2. So then we say y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So y minus y1 is 2 equals our parallel slope of 2 times x minus -1. Two negatives make a positive. Y minus 2 equals 2x plus 2 using the distributive property. We're going to add 2 to both sides. So y equals 2x plus 4. Now it's parallel to this given equation because they have the same slope. So we're going to find the equation line perpendicular to y equals 2x plus 3 and through 1, 5. Well, this is our x1, y1. Life is good. And here we have a slope. So our given slope is 2, but our perpendicular slope is the opposite reciprocal. So that means flip it. Here you have a 2 over 1. So when you flip it, you get 1/2 and change the sign to negative. So if it was negative, it becomes positive. And if it was positive, it becomes negative. And then we use our formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So y minus y1 is 5 equals our slope of -1/2. Don't pick up the wrong slope. I started to there. It happens. -1/2 times x minus our x1 is 1. So y minus 5 equals -1/2 x plus, when we distribute, we get 1/2. We're going to add 5 to both sides. So 1/2 plus 5 over 1, common denominator. This will be 10 over 2 equals 11 over 2. So y equals -1/2 x plus 11 over 2. If you have any questions, let me know, and I hope you have a great day.